Brothers and sisters, listen closely. A storm rises not in silence, but in decree. Across the oceans in the White House halls, a man signs papers that seek to erase our footsteps, to choke our journeys, to clip the wings of Africa's children before they even take flight. They call it immigration reform. We call it exile on paper. They call it visa cuts. We call it chains with new names. They call it national security. We call it fear dressed as policy. But let the record show, Africa has never been a beggar at anyone's table. From the pyramids of Kemet to the manuscripts of Timbuktu, from the drums of resistance in Soweto to the uprisings of Dakar, we have always risen. We have always rebuilt. We have always marched forward. And now Trump raises his hand against the sons and daughters of Africa. But he forgets. Every border is an illusion. Every wall is destined to crumble. Every empire that mocked Africa was buried in the sands of history. This is not about visas. This is not about paperwork. This is about dignity. This is about the right to exist without permission slips from men who fear our brilliance. So we ask, what happens next? Do we bow our heads, or do we rise, unified, unbreakable, unstoppable, turning exile into exodus and rejection into resurrection? The fire is not in Washington. The fire is in Africa's heart, and it cannot be banned. It cannot be cut. It cannot be silenced. Brothers and sisters, let us gaze into the mirror they have held before us. This so-called ban, these so-called visa cuts, do not mistake them for mere laws or signatures. No, they are reflections. They are not about us being weak. They are about us being strong. They are not about our lack of worth. They are about their fear of our worth. The empire looks at Africa and trembles at our youth, our brilliance, our boundless spirit, trembles at the roar of a billion voices ready to rise, trembles at the minerals in our soil, the rhythm in our veins, the future in our hands. Why else would they seek to close their gates? Why else would they try to clip the passports of our sons and daughters before their journey even begins? You do not build walls against the forgotten. You build walls against the unstoppable. You do not ban the powerless. You ban those whose very presence shakes the foundation of your illusion. And yet, do not let this mirror frighten you. Let it awaken you. For it tells us one truth. Africa is rising. They see it clearer than some of us see it ourselves. They fear our tomorrow more than we believe in it today. That is the irony, my people. Our enemies often believe in our power more than we do. But hear me now. We must turn this reflection into resistance. We must transform their ban into our bond, their rejection into our resurrection. When they lock the door, we build our own house. When they refuse us entry, we carve our own road. When they deny our presence, we multiply until our presence is undeniable. For Africa is not waiting for visas. Africa is not waiting for permission. Africa is not waiting for a stamp on a passport. Africa is the seed that grows through concrete, the fire that survives the storm, the dawn that no empire can hold back. So let this band become a trumpet, calling us to unity. Let it remind us that the chains they fear most are not iron, but solidarity. Together we are the storm. Together we are the mirror. Together we are the dawn they cannot ban. Rise, my people. Rise, for the mirror does not lie. Africa's power is real, and its time has come. They cut the visas, but they cannot cut the vision. They stamp the passports, but they cannot stamp the soul. They close the gates, but they cannot close the sky. Brothers and sisters, hear me. When the empire strikes its pen upon paper, it believes it has clipped our wings. But wings are not made of documents. Wings are not made of visas. Wings are carved from hope, from struggle, from the unbreakable spirit of a people who have endured centuries of exile, yet still rise with dawn. Look back at our history. The slave ships carried chains, but they could not chain our dreams. The colonizers drew borders on maps, but they could not border our imagination. Apartheid built walls, but it could not wall off freedom. Every age of oppression declared, Africa, you cannot fly, yet every age of Africa replied, watch me soar. And so today, they cut the visas. Let them. For a visa is a paper, but our wings are eternal. Our migration is not only across oceans, it is across time, across generations, across the fields of history where we planted seeds of survival and harvested fruits of resistance. But hear this truth. The cutting of visas must not divide us. It must unite us. For if one door is locked, we open another together. If one bridge is burned, we build 10 more. If one path is blocked, we carve new roads with our own hands. I tell you now, Africa's wings are not in airports. They are in our unity. They are not in embassies. They are in our solidarity. They are not in papers. They are in the pulse of our people. So let us rise as one flock, one storm of wings beating against the silence. Let us show the world that we are not guests on this earth. We are heirs of it. We are not asking to fly. We are destined to. Rise, children of Africa. They may cut their papers, but they cannot cut your flight. They may deny your entry, but they cannot deny your destiny. For the sky has no borders, and the dawn has no visas. Fly, my people, fly, for the world is waiting for the sound of your wings. They build their walls high, but history tells us no wall stands forever. They raise their fences tall, but time whispers, every stone will fall. They seal their borders tight, but the earth itself laughs. For borders are illusions, drawn in sand, destined to be washed away by the tides of truth. Brothers and sisters, let us not tremble at their barriers. Let us not bow before their concrete and steel. For the greatest walls of history, walls that claim to last 1,000 years, have crumbled into dust under the feet of the forgotten. The Berlin Wall fell. The walls of apartheid cracked and collapsed. Even the walls of Rome, mighty in their day, stand now as broken ruins, reminders that no fortress is eternal. And so when Trump or any ruler builds walls against Africa, know this: it is not a wall of strength, it is a wall of fear. Fear of our youth, fear of our genius, fear of the seeds we plant that bloom into revolutions. They build walls not because we are weak, but because we are strong enough to climb them, strong enough to break them, strong enough to render them meaningless. But hear me, people. Resistance is not only about tearing down their walls, it is about building our bridges. If they raise barriers, we raise unity. If they separate, we connect. If they divide, we embrace. Their walls cannot hold back a people who have made exile into exodus, who have turned chains into drums, who have transformed wounds into wisdom. The vision is clear. One day, the walls they raise against Africa will stand as ruins, covered in dust, while Africa stands tall, alive, unbroken, free. And when that day comes, our children will not remember the barriers. They will remember the bridges we built in defiance. So I call to you, do not despair at their walls. Become storms that erode them. Become roots that crack their foundation. Become dawn that blinds their watchmen. Every wall is temporary. Every empire is mort. But Africa's spirit is eternal. Rise and march forward, for no wall can cage a people who were born with wings. They think exile is punishment. They think rejection is the end. But history shows us exile becomes exodus and rejection becomes resurrection. Brothers and sisters, let us remember our story has always been one of wandering and returning, of being cast out and rising again. Joseph was sold into exile, yet he rose to power in a foreign land. Moses led his people through the wilderness, and exile became the road to freedom. Our ancestors were stolen across oceans, chained in the belly of ships, scattered across continents. Yet even in exile, they carried Africa in their hearts. They carried songs in their throats. They carried fire in their veins. Rejection has always been our beginning, never our ending. The world may close its doors, but Africa is not defined by their refusal. Africa is defined by its rebirth. Every time we are pushed out, we return stronger. Every time we are denied, we rise undeniable. Like seeds cast into barren soil, we sprout through cracks in the concrete. Like rivers diverted, we carve new channels until we find the sea. But hear me, exodus is not escape, it is transformation. It is the moment when chains become bridges, when pain becomes prophecy, when exile itself lights the path back home. Our resistance must be to see rejection not as shame, but as fuel. To see exile not as loss, but as movement. To see every ban, every cut, every wall as the wilderness before the dawn. And in unity, the wilderness cannot break us. If we walk together, exile becomes a journey, not a prison. If we rise as one, rejection becomes redirection, guiding us back to our power. The vision is clear. Out of exile, a new Africa is born. Out of rejection, a resurrected people emerge, unbreakable, unstoppable, undeniable. So I say to you, do not fear exile, embrace exodus, do not mourn rejection, await resurrection, for Africa's destiny has never been written into the ink of their policies. It is carved in the fire of our spirit. Rise, my people. Let exile become our exodus. Let rejection become our resurrection. And let the world bear witness to a dawn they cannot deny. They will tell you Africa was conquered. They will whisper that Africa was broken. They will claim that Africa was defeated. But history answers with thunder. Africa has never been defeated, only delayed. Yes, we were chained, but chains did not erase our spirit. Yes, we were colonized, but colonization did not erase our memory. Yes, we were divided, but division did not erase our destiny. Brothers and sisters, every empire that came to Africa came with arrogance. They came with guns and flags, with crosses and contracts, with maps and lies. They came to bury us under centuries of silence. But hear this truth, not one of them succeeded. Rome faded, Portugal crumbled, Britain shrank, France staggered, and yet Africa still breathes, still sings, still rises. Every invasion was a storm, but storms pass. Every colonizer was a wall, but walls fall. Every delay was a night, but night always gives way to dawn. Africa is not the victim of history. Africa is the heartbeat of history. And now, as new powers try to delay us again, through bans, through borders, through chains made of policy and paper, we must remember who we are. Delays do not destroy destinies. Delays do not end revolutions. Delays only sharpen the fire, deepen the roots, prepare the soil for a stronger seed to grow. Our resistance is simple. We refuse to believe in their timelines. We refuse to bow to their calendars. Africa does not move on their clock. Africa moves on the eternal rhythm of drums, of rivers, of suns that rise without permission. In unity, there is no delay that can hold us back. For when one generation is pushed down, the next generation rises higher. When one dream is stolen, 10 more are born. The vision is clear. Africa's path has never been erased, only paused. And every pause is the gathering of energy, the deep breath before the shout, the stillness before the storm. So I say to you, rise above the lies. Carry the torch of memory. March with the patience of roots and the fire of dawn. For Africa is not defeated. Africa is delayed. And every delay only makes the victory greater. Rise, my people. The dawn waits for us. They have guns, but guns grow silent. They have walls, but walls collapse. They have laws, but laws fade like smoke in the wind. But we, Africa, we have something greater. We have the weapon they fear most. We have unity. Brothers and sisters, let us realize this truth. Every chain that bound us was forged in our division. Every empire that conquered us entered through the cracks between us. They divided tribe against tribe, nation against nation, brother against brother, and through that fracture they claimed power. But when Africa is united, no empire can stand. When Africa awakens, no wall can hold us. For unity is not only numbers, unity is fire. It is the storm that shakes the thrones of kings. It is the bridge that carries us across oceans of despair. It is the seed that grows into forests no axe can clear. Our resistance must begin here. We refuse to be scattered. We refuse to be turned against each other. We refuse to forget that what unites us is deeper than what divides us. For in every heartbeat of Africa, from Cairo to Cape Town, from Dakar to Dar es Salaam, from Lagos to Luanda, the same drum is beating, the drum of liberation. And the vision is clear, an Africa awake, an Africa aware, an Africa united, awake to its stolen history, aware of its stolen wealth, united in the fire of its destiny. When this awakening comes, no policy, no ban, no border can contain us. So I call to you, children of Africa, wherever you stand at Hos, me or in the diaspora, hold each other's hands across the seas, light each other's torches across the night, for unity is our weapon and awakening is our shield. Let us rise as one storm, one fire, one dawn. Let us march not as scattered voices, but as a single thunder that shakes the earth. The time has come. Awake Africa, unite Africa, for our tomorrow waits, and it will not wait forever. brothers and sisters. We have seen the mirror of their fear. We have declared our wings cannot be clipped. We have watched their walls fall, their bands crumble, their chains break. We have turned exile into exodus, rejection into resurrection. We have remembered that history never defeated us, it only delayed us. And we have held the weapon of unity, the shield of awakening, in our hands. So now the question remains, what will you do with this fire? Will you let it fade into smoke, or will you carry it, torch to torch, until the night itself surrenders? Africa's destiny is not tomorrow, it is now. The dawn does not wait. The storm does not pause. The seed does not ask permission before it breaks the soil, and our people cannot afford to slumber any longer. Rise, my people, rise in your words, rise in your deeds, rise in your unity. Share this fire with your brothers and sisters. Speak this truth in every village, every city, every diaspora street. Let the empire hear it in the echo of your voices, because no ban can silence us, no wall can hold us, no delay can deny us, and no night can withstand the dawn. The time has come. The torch is in your hands. Carry it, and let Africa's fire light the world.